also representing the Dean of the Faculty of Education. Please a round of applause for him. He's wearing a lot of caps today. There is a lot of feather on his shoulder today. Please, one more time, a round of applause. I can see your students are excited. I want to hear you. If you are not standing up, you are doing the wrong thing. Stand up and give me a round of applause. Stand ovation for me. Thank you for coming, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Permit me to also stand on the existing protocol. And permit me to also mention that in Gombe State University, we have our own unique protocol. Very simple protocol. So once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I'm wearing 3 caps. Though you may not see me putting on cap, but I'm presently representing the Vice Chancellor, Gombe State University, Professor Aliyu Usman El-Nafaty, who would have loved to be here, but for the attestation and graduation ceremony of the second batch of the medical students of Gombe State University that is also taking place at this very same time, to really show the depth of his appreciation for this program. He constantly kept on reminding me. In fact, exactly 10 o'clock, he sent a text message, "Don't forget to be at the program." I'm also representing the Dean, Faculty of Education, Professor Mohammed Gurama Duku, who would also have loved to be here because of the kind gesture that Tongston Holdings is doing to our students. But he too had to be on a national assignment in Kano, so he's presently in Kano. Both of them send their warm greetings and appreciation to everybody. Mine will not be much of a speech, but much of appreciation. First and foremost, the Vice Chancellor wants us to welcome you to the best and most beautiful university in Nigeria. We are not just blowing our trumpet, we are just merely stating the fact. So please, ladies and gentlemen, after today's program, you are free to go around, enjoy the beauty of our environment, take as much pictures as you want. We promise we will not charge you a single kobo. To show the depth of appreciation of this program to us at the Faculty of Education, we have to do something very unusual today, quite unusual in an academic environment. We are having exams going on, and we all know the sanctity of examination. But because of this program, and to ensure that our students are adequately represented and nobody misses the program, the Dean had to approve that today becomes exam-free day at the Faculty of Education. Well, I'm also wearing another cap, the 3rd cap. I'm the Director, Research and Development of Gombe State University. And that perhaps because of the relevancy of what we do at that directorate, that is why the Vice Chancellor says I must be here. Well, I have a very simple assignment just to talk about the need for innovation in education. And I would say, well, a simple way to address my assignment is just to say that, well, there is a great need to have innovation in education. And they say, thank you, and I will go and sit down. But of course, let's just touch on 1 or 2 little things. I will try not to make it academic, though that is my territory. I'll try to touch on 1 or 2 little things. When you talk about innovation, in a simple way, we can just be talking about making something new, solving a problem in a new way. thinking out of the box, looking at things differently from how it is usually looked at. Why do we need innovation in education? That question is really important. But once we see let's provide some little background to really help us appreciate this. When we talk about education, in a simple way, we can say that education has to do with providing an individual with necessary knowledge, skills, attitude, and what have you, so as to enable that individual to be able to become a responsible member of the society. So if this is what education is all about, then what does it take to become a responsible member of the society? Let us take note that the society itself is dynamic. It keeps on changing. What makes me to become responsible in 1980 might be irrelevant in this era. And so education must keep on changing and equipping the recipient with basic skills, knowledge, attitude to be able to adapt, to be able to keep on changing, looking at new ways of addressing new problems or even older problems, so that they can keep on to become useful, relevant, and responsible members of the society. Let's also take note of the fact that the saying that the only constant thing in life is change. And so since change itself is always there at all times, when you do the same thing, the same way, you will not expect a new result. These are issues that call for innovation in education. Sad to say, that is the reality. The present schooling system, I'm not using the word education now, the present schooling system tends only to be equipping its recipient with knowledge, stuffing the heads with facts, figures. This in itself may not be able to make individuals to be able to address changing contemporary issues and problems. So we need really to have innovation. So schools may provide knowledge, but we need to turn the knowledge into action. Far back in the 1940s, a sociologist was so worried about what was happening in school that he wrote education is that we are not advocating that the society should be de-schooled, but what Tongston is advocating, which is in line with what we believe in Gombe State University and the Faculty of Education, is that use that knowledge to address problems in newer ways. And that is what innovation is all about, and that is a very vital reason why innovation is really critical for education. You need to use higher thinking to solve complex problems. You need to use higher thinking to even address existing problems, but in a newer way. Let's also mention the fact that without innovation in education, unfortunately, we may be losing inventors. Thank you very much. This is one of the things that I need to digress. We want to also mention the fact that Gombe State University is an inclusive university. We have the physically challenged, not disabled among us, visually impaired, and hearing impaired. And we have a signer to always address issues like this so that they will not miss out. And I think you can't get this in any university aside Gombe State University. We are talking about the fact that we need innovation in education for one other good reason, so that we will not be losing inventors. Take note of most inventions. The inventions most likely start as mere play, mere student project, to grow into something big. But if education lacks innovation, we are going to be losing inventions and inventors. And sad to say, it seems the present schooling system is killing innovation and invention. Let me give an example of the kids. The children at a very lower age, I can say they are one of the most innovative individuals you can ever think of. A child, we see an object. That object at that time turns into a cell phone. That same object turns into a thermometer. It keeps on creatively making use of this same object in newer ways. But unfortunately, by the time they are growing older, we keep on shouting down at them, "Stop that rubbish," killing innovation. And by the time you do something out of the box that tends not to be within the curriculum, you might be seen as not being in line with what is happening. And so what are we saying? Without innovation in education, we continue to have the same crisis in education as we keep on having. We continue to churn out graduates who cannot be responsible members of the society because the education given to them is lacking in one vital ingredient: innovation. We have graduates who will only tell you the only thing they can do is to look for a job, but cannot think based on the education provided to them to look out to solve problems, and of course to make money and become useful to themselves and members of the society. Let me just cite one or two examples. In Gombe State University, we are proud to inform you that we have Center for Entrepreneurship Studies, which presently caters for about 17 skills. It's mandatory that you acquire at least one skill before you graduate. But last week, we are thinking we should go beyond that. Of what use is it to me to learn tailoring, barbing, if I am studying chemistry, if I am studying English education? Yes, that tailoring equips me with skill. If I can't get a job as an English teacher, I can have something to fall back on. But we are thinking, let's go beyond entrepreneurship to edupreneurship. Interestingly, that seems to be what Tongston Group is also talking about. That education you have, how can you use it to solve the societal problem? I give you an example of a medical doctor who always complained that he was tired of receiving phone calls for free consultation. And he turned that into a creative idea, innovation. He created the telephone doctor. So this time around, you no longer need to make free consultation. You make consultation and you pay for it. And he also employed and empowered a lot of doctors and ICT guys. That is what we talk about entrepreneurship. Making use of your education to solve an existing problem. Sorry, I'm a teacher. We always talk. Well, let me also mention one other issue. A lady who worked on a project, school class on wheel. Simple innovation to use a background in education to address a societal problem. People no longer read. Everybody complains. She came up with a mobile library, but beyond that, a complete classroom in a truck that goes about the community, charges a token of 50 naira, doing great service to the community, and of course also enriching her pocket and many others that she employed. And last week when I was sharing that idea with somebody from Lincoln University, Malaysia, he said, great idea, but ICT can even take it further. We can develop a mobile app and put our mobile library or our class on wheel in the application. So what are we saying? There is a great need to ensure that innovation is an integral part of the curriculum, that innovation is an integral part of the education we offer to students. Finally, I wish to say thank you to esteemed ladies and gentlemen who are here today. I wish to say thank you to Tongston Group, especially the CEO, Engineer Tongo. I hope I got the name right. I was so proud that we could have you among us. And we wish to say, like Oliver Twist, Gombe State University wants more. Gombe State at large also wants more from you. And we are sure that it's going to be a very good, lasting, mutual cooperation between Gombe State University and the Tongston Group. Thank you so much.